burying their head in the sand and not wanting to talk about it, right? We have an opportunity, a very slim opportunity in the next few weeks to assemble the vote to get this right for our children. And not one person is going to be able to make that happen in the Capitol in Concord. It needs a team. It needs a team of 30 righteous people that have strong character, that have not bent the knee, that are not part of the establishment to take it all back. That is what we're going to do with the Resolve Initiative. Each and every one of you has to take a lead. I don't want to see where I post something that's a call to action and you give me a thumbs up. You can give me a thumbs up, but you better darn turn around. I better see 20 shares for that one thumb. You get it out to your sphere of influence. You take the lead. I don't want to hear, Teresa, what can I do to help you? No, you are a leader. You take this is your freedom fight. I cannot fight it for you. My fight will not look like your fight, will not look like Frank's fight. But you need to find the fight in you. And you need to figure out time in your budget in the next 4 weeks. I'm not talking forever. You find out who your candidates are down there in Salem and they're in blue district with establishment money all over, stifling them from winning. You find out where they are and you come up to them and say, I want to do a sign wave with you. And you find the busiest intersection and you go, you stand there for an hour. 1 hour in the busiest intersection, a team of 20 of you standing with signs that say resolve in that candidate's name. That means a lot more if I see 20 people with the word resolve than somebody's 4x8 sitting in a vacant lot somewhere. People can Google resolve and we are the first thing that comes up. People like that word. We're not giving up. We're not. We're going to get strong. We're going to do this. If we get through these elections and they cheat, which they will, and our written name, writing the name in, every logistic strategy we can come up with to save this for our babies fails, you know what we'll have still done? We'll have still assembled. We'll still know where the like-minded are. We'll still know who the character resides here in New Hampshire, and we will still be able to stand our ground and do what we need to do to reform it back to what our forefathers had for us. But right now we have an opportunity. We have elections around the corner. They have their Agenda 2030. They want to accelerate it. They want to shut us down again or whatever they have planned. Now is the time to bring hope and courage and bravery to every single person you come in contact with. We have pins out there. Speaks to it very easily. You can wear it on your shirt. You wear your patriotic gear. You get those bundle of business cards. You make a commitment that you're going to hit one busy parking lot a week. You make a commitment to find who your state senate candidate is, and you coordinate with them to stand in a busy intersection and stand and hold their arms up in battle. Maybe you couldn't declare for a position, but man, you better get out there and help support those that did. You guys came up with some amazing questions here tonight. We're running over on time. Some of you maybe are hungry. I'm really pleased with the turnout here tonight. I've been told that New Hampshire GOP can't even get 50 people in the same room, so we blew that way out of the water. What I'm going to do with the questions is I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get some help, or I'll do it myself, but we'll type them all up. And I'm going to get them to all 4 candidates. And then we'll publish what their responses are. Because I think it's really important that you guys have the answers to these. Try and do that in the next 24 hours. Give them 24 hours to answer. There's a lot of questions here. And get those posted as soon as we can. If you have not gone out to the website, you need to do that now. It's wethepeoplenh.org. There's a tab there called The Resolve. Talks to the initiative, everything we're doing. Praise God for Ruth. Right now at the top of the page, you can put in your email, your zip code, and then there's 3 drop-down buttons. The drop-down buttons are where we had more than one person running for a position. So the governor, Senate District 2, and Executive Council District 2. The rest, we didn't have more than one choice. Some of them we have no choice at all. The only person running is a Rhino. Those are where we've recruited people to be a write-in candidate. And those we will also display out on the candidate tab of the website. We're going to start filling in those 30. And I have no doubt we're going to find 30 righteous people to get elected in November. The other big thing about tonight that's really, really, really important that I need everyone to help with. We need 10 righteous, solid, salt of the earth, will not bend a knee, will give up and lay down their life before they let tyrants take us over, individuals for a sheriff position. Yeah. We have 2 out of the 10. We need you to actively look for 8 more. We cannot let Macias, we cannot let some of these individuals continue to act as sheriff. Right now, all they're doing is subpoenas. They have no idea what their role really is. But I gotta tell you, with Article 10, the ones that are gonna step up and save your county and organize and keep it so you're not running through the woods with 2 little boys who are still in pull-ups are gonna be your sheriff. I need 8 more individuals for sheriff, and I need your help to find them. I'm gonna have Justin come up here for a moment. He is running for sheriff. Versus where we're at, and figure out how we will wrap tonight up. But Justin, why don't you take over?
Are you gonna wave drums and yell at me when
I'll give you. You guys good? How you guys doing out there? You guys need a cookie? How about we go 3 to 5 minutes? How's that? And then maybe we'll do a cookie break, and then we'll wrap the night up.
Where's the click up?
I know.
Click up.
All right, good evening, everybody. It sounds like you can hear me okay. Thank you very much for being here. Look to the left and right of you. If you have an empty seat, those people will eventually think that you were here too, because as we all know, it's important. So to give you some background on me, I've grown up in New Hampshire. I have absolutely loved living here, and it's afforded me a fantastic life. Fast forward to the age of 22, I decided to leave my career of working on cars actually because of the recession, and I'm like, okay, I want to do something with some more purpose. So I'd always thought about military service. I have it in my family. Two of my grandfathers swore the same oath that I did in 2012, which prompted me to do so, fighting for this novel thing we call the American Dream. So I felt that I wanted to do something more important. I was driven into it. I had no idea how good I'd be at it. I didn't know if I would enjoy it, but I did know that it was going to take a lot out of me. So I always vowed to myself that if the negativity of the job changed me as a person, then I would have the fortitude to hang it up. 10 years later, my career in Rochester and Pittsfield, I knew that when I got to the 10-year mark, I would make my decision to what I wanted to do for the rest of my time. We're here, so you know what I want to do with the rest of my time. Thank you. Basically, I saw a need that needed to be filled. In my career, I didn't plan on being in this situation. I certainly didn't plan on being in a theater with cowboy hat on, so that's bonus too. Got another cowboy hat coming down the aisle here. I have learned people like cowboy hats, and I like wearing it now, so I think it's going to be a thing. But over the past couple of years, I really saw how important quality law enforcement is. We all know that. Independent people and a lot of people that live in Carroll County, they're independent people. I think New England people are known for that anyways. That maybe being a little crabby or judgy sometimes. But other than that, we're independent. We don't really want to be messed with. But if you do need emergency services, they have to be there to serve you. So it was said numerous times throughout the night that you need to understand when you take an oath to the Constitution what the weight of that is and what that means to the people that you're going to serve. So I never got into this to have power. But even from the very start, before I really knew what I was doing, I understood the weight of what I was doing. And I had the fortitude to carry it through because that's just who I am at the core. It's how I was raised. So, you know, constitutional rights, most people don't understand them. Some people don't even know they have them. And that was said before as well. If you don't know what your rights are, you don't have them. And you certainly can't navigate through stuff like the past couple of years because you don't know what's up and what's down. It is the responsibility of people of authority to not abuse that authority. That was one of the biggest things that was a sticking point for me during my career, is that most of the people that I worked with, I never saw them abuse that. Most police, you know, were underpaid, were overworked, just like any other civil servant. But we're the ones that don't get to take your money and go spend it on stuff like trips. So we just get overworked. Another one of the foundational reasons I want to do this is because I've worked alongside some absolutely inspirational men and women in my career. And I want to continue doing that, but I've always seen them be overworked and underpaid and underappreciated. I've seen really great people, really great cops that could be leaders, but they're not because of certain cronyism and the way that certain structures are, how politics ends up infiltrating policing. Which leads me to my next piece as to why a sheriff is so important. So, most people don't even understand what sheriffs do. They do a multitude of things, I'm not going to get into that. But the power that they have and the influence that you can have over that power is what's important. There's a lot of awesome police officers, like I said, men and women that work very hard, that are dedicated to you, and they sacrifice their lives sometimes to do it. And I'm always thankful for that. That is the mission that I have been fighting for the past 10 years. Where sometimes it gets lost is, they have a pension. We all have bills. A lot of stuff over the past couple of years was very disheartening to me, where I saw people, all over the spectrum be taken advantage of by their town, be taken advantage of by the hospital, and treated in ways that none of us deserve to be treated. And we're in a role where we have to stand up for that. I was one of the very few people to do that, which is what broke my heart, because I still went out and did my job, and I saw the emotional devastation that happened to the people that I served. And that bothered me here. And that's what you can't forget. A lot of people seem to have forgotten, and I think it can be corrected. And the reason I think it can be corrected is because a lot of people in these roles are just looking for actual leadership. Someone who will stand by their people, someone who will do what's right, regardless of the popularity, because if it abides by the Constitution, which that's what we swear to, it's to uphold the Constitution of the state, the federal Constitution, and the will of the people. It's something I valued day one. It's something I value even more right now. And it's something that I'm willing to execute for you. Because I could be two things in this job, a sword or a shield. And I'm happy to be both of them, depending on what the role is. But that shield isn't shielding you from going into your doctor's office or supporting someone who's violating your rights. Your kids going to school. All of your kids deserve to have an education where they're not bullied. We've been talking about the Department of Education, and there's a whole laundry list of things that can be changed. One of the common things, and I'm sure this school is one of them, is that anti-bullying. I am a person who always sought out the people bullying other people and addressed it. That was even as a kid. Bullies don't stop unless you stop them. They don't get tired. They don't get sick of it. They look to do that. And I was really, really surprised to see how many people in this state and in this country and in the world over the past couple of years liked to be bullies. I had people come up to me on duty when I was working to shame me about not wearing a mask or something like that. It's none of your business. My medical history is none of your business, just as much as yours is not mine. And that's the way it was up until late 2018. We need to have decency, we need to have respect, and we also, as anybody, whether it be law enforcement or elected representation, we need to value our actual role. And that's not getting our agenda passed because of our opinions. My job, my entire career, is not to impart my opinion on everybody. It is to serve faithfully and to uphold the people's rights as laid out in the Constitution, because the Constitution does not afford you anything. The Constitution was on a piece of paper. What the Constitution does is lay out the rules of engagement for what your government is allowed to do. They're not rules for you. It's rules for the people, the government. And that's the type of stuff that I didn't see, which is why I'm standing here. I'm happy to have this opportunity. I have met some absolutely breathtaking people along my short journey so far, and that is what gives me hope for the future. There are more men and women like me that are firefighters, that are EMTs, that are military veterans, that have put it on the line for you. They've lost their careers. I was prepared to do so. Thankfully, I didn't have to worry about that because the administration I worked for was supportive of it. But they could have even gone further because we all knew it was right. And the people in the middle just playing theater, that doesn't benefit anybody. As a sheriff, which I hope to be this next coming year, I don't necessarily care if you like me, but I do care if you respect me. Because I'm prepared to earn that respect. So I guess in closing, because I'm going to be wrapping up here in a minute, my fight, kind of unlike, there's some primary people. There's a write-in candidate running against me, and I'm running against the incumbent. I'm registered as a Republican, and if I win on September 13th, I can immediately start working to get you a better law enforcement situation from all points. Better staff, more of it, to supplement your local police departments that have been plagued with staffing issues, pay issues, and like I said, a lack of leadership. I don't want to disparage anybody who puts their life on the line, but we need to do better, and people deserve better, and I'm ready to deliver that for all of you. Well, I actually said on a radio interview the other day, and I don't want to disparage anybody. I don't know the person personally, but if you don't know who your sheriff is, and you have never met anybody that's come to bat for you like they should have been over the past couple of years, because they could have, talking local or a sheriff, which could have corrected the local situation, it's time for a new sheriff.
But I can tell you we need 10 new sheriffs.
So, I think my time is up, and I will leave you with one hopefully inspirational quote. Other than the fact I'm going to remind you again to go out and tell everybody you can on September 13th to vote for Justin Worthley, because that's constitutional insurance policy for you, and I only will get the opportunity to fight for you, which I'm happy to do, if you go out and do it. So, my inspirational quote is as follows. From dust you are born, to dust you will return. The journey between is what you discern. And have a great night.